Hi everyone. You can call me Echoes, and I'm a VTuber. So today I'll be covering the second episode of Gundam Witch of Mercury, especially after the first episode. I want, in order to describe the general fallout and some parts that weren't previously covered. So the episode starts off with pretty much a quick rehash of the final duel and the events of the previous episode, especially regarding the fight. And they get the dueling council again. And then you see that they pretty much search for the Gundam's information because they're like, what Gundam is this? Uh, who is behind the aerial, right? So, and then they pull up the statistics and everything. And they're like kind of intrigued by the whole thing. Then, another rehash of the first episode was Suletta and Miorine. And then we get the opening. So pretty much you could see that, in the opening itself, you have Suletta enjoying her campus life. She's like using the scooter that you saw in the first episode to get around because the campus is so big, right? And then you see, let's see, and then you see Miorine surrounded by the forest. You could tell that she seems to really like greenery and likes feeling connected to plants in the earth, especially from the previous episode where she had a lot of potted plants. Then next, you see pretty much Suletta meeting up with Choo Choo, and then this lady, I don't remember her name, but it looks like these two girls are friends, and they're both from Earth. So, looks like she's able to become friends with them because she doesn't discriminate against them. Even if she's from Mercury, she treats them both like equals. Same thing with her being friends with these two girls. And then you can see Suletta is reflecting an elevator, and then Miorine comes out and she's like by herself. So it's kind of like showing two mirrors in a way, them doing different things. And then you can see Suletta here is like entranced by the Gundams, while the other students are not as interested. I think that generally shows Suletta's position as a pilot, but also just interested in technology. While you can see Miorine here is once more surrounded by a lot of plants. I don't know if they're just tomatoes at all, but yeah, you could see that she really loves being surrounded by greenery. And it's also similar to her connection to Anthe from Utena, where Anthe also really likes gardening, so they both have that commonality here. You see that Suletta and Mirai are sort of pulling each other together. They're kind of collaborating together or to work together to achieve their goals. See, they're running together. And then you see the Aerials is like flying with them. Because, the aerial, is sentient, so it could be separated from its pilot for a little bit. Whether it could pilot itself, you don't know without the pilot, but yeah, it is sentient. Then you see Gaturk. You see the dueling council members. You see Gaturk, and then you see this guy who's the head. And then you see, oops, I forgot me. And then you see this guy right here, who pretty much is the guy who's interested in Suletta. And you see they're all like framed this picture. You see Gaturk. You see that guy's interested in Suletta. See this girl who is probably from the same area as the head. Don't really know, but she is like one of the important members of the dueling council. This guy's like the secretary, looks things up, and yeah. So these are the 5 members of the quote unquote the dueling council, and is also reflective of the Rose Council from Revolutionary Utena. This is also seems to be an Utena reference. There's a similar scene in Utena where Utena and Anthe are surrounded by roses in this like circle. Usually you see this kind of position in regards to romances rather than other types of series. So, especially it's usually reflective of like a balance and kind of like a yin and yang kind of idea. So, and then you see here that see here you see the colony, and then you see that the person who's using the console is actually Suletta when she was younger. Kind of interesting touch in showing. It's hard to tell whether that colony was specifically Mercury or it's specifically the school itself that Suletta's attending, the college, right? College or school of tech. So hard to say, but I think it's most likely it's Mercury because Suletta is shown here when she was young and she's using the console, right? I think it makes the most sense. Then you see the fallout as a lot of students are reacting to the results of the duel, and then pretty much Suletta and Miorine are apprehended by these machines that are controlled by Delling, which are pretty much Miorine's father, who's making the rules. They're trying to apprehend the Ariel because it's considered a Gundam, which is considered forbidden technology because it uses the gun arm technology, which can harm human beings. Miorine is trying to negotiate, but she fails. And then Suletta's interrogated. Miriam just answers questions. She doesn't. You could tell from here that she doesn't really know that the her Gundam is a Gundam. She never was specifically told that, so that's why she is honest and truthful here in the interrogation in regards to that. I'm pretty sure also the Ariel never told her either in order to protect her. Then you can see that all these powers are kind of interested in the technology. You can see that Jachar's father is like, oh my god, this, like the duel is avoided. It's not actually correct because, Ariel won. And also it's by this manufacturer Shinsei Development Corporation, which takes place in Mercury. You'll see why that's important later on. Then they go over the technology. It's under, and they say it's also representative of the Ox Earth, which is respectively the faction that was part of the Vanitas Institute, which was involved with the Gundam technology back in the day, all the way back from the Prologue. Then a lot of students are like, oh, like making fun of Miorine and stuff. Pretty much this guy gives back this girl's it's called a notebook. It pretty much looks like a phone. But yeah, it's called a notebook. And it just reaffirms the rules and things. And also I believe here you can see the beginning of the racism involving Earthians, like that blue-haired girl and that pink-haired girl had to deal with from all the space people. So it's the people from Earth are considered inferior, which is different from the typical Gundam series, whereas actually the Federation considers them superior over the Zeon, which are from space. So it's a reversal here as well. So this guy is just wondering if this guy is interested in Suletta, but this guy specifically says that like he will never fall in love for some reason. So I think there's probably some sort of backstory behind it. But I was watching another video. He seems to be behind. His suit seems to be behind. I think there's this group of like older ladies from the beginning. I'm trying to find that scene. Yeah, I can't see it specifically, but it's like a group of people. Yeah. So let's see. Nope. So these group of people. So that guy who likes Suletta is also behind these group of people who seem to be very high tech. So maybe there's a reason behind why he can't fall in love for whatever reason. Then Miorine is interrogated by the people who broke her home and stuff, or bystanders, but they did nothing. So they're sent there because Jitchar told them to fix things. Then Miorine pretty much wants them to just go away, and she do it herself until she learns that Suletta's Gundam may be scrapped, and she then tries to take action right away, and then tells the girls to fix the her house they were told to do. And then they do, and then you can see some of the students are doing some research on the Shinsei company, which is not exactly in the highest rank. They're pretty low. You can see out of 157, they're 151. But regardless, they're not low enough that they are in trouble, you could see. But they also mention here that depending on the rank of your sales, the more and more that you consider reputable, while the lower the rank, you're considered inferior. And then you see them talking about a bit of the racism against Earthians here. You see more blatantly with these girls who are trying to take their table, and then one of the girls spits gum into this girl's food. Really sad form of racism, but yeah, it's Earthians versus the space people. Miorine is trying to negotiate with someone, talk to her father, fails. And then this guy is trying to bring her to her father because her father says, hey, you're not being enrolled in school anymore, you gotta come back. And she's like, why? And she's once more very angry about her father controlling her life, which, very understandable. He seems to be the most annoying and controlling parent ever. And this woman, let's see. So this woman seems interested in Miorine. You'll see later why. And then she talks to Miorine while Miorine is in the bathroom, and then negotiates, saying that I was paid to help you escape to Earth, so I'm going to make do with my payment, kind of make do with what I said I would do. And obviously, she's not doing it just for payment. She's also doing it because Miorine is the Delling's daughter, so she's rather important in regards to being useful. Mia's trying to escape. And then you can see here that Jaturk is being berated by his father. And then Jaturk's father is meeting with, I believe her name, they call it Lady Prospera. Though, if you look up information, she's actually very clearly Suletta's mother. She just is doing the Chara thing with the whole mask to hide her identity, I'm sure. Suletta's in confinement. And then the guy's interested in her, just says he's interested in her, and also brings her food. Very nice guy, at least in that way. And also does say that he is interested in her more. I don't know if just because of the Gundam specific. I'm pretty sure it's just the Gundam. He's like, why are you able to use the Gundam so well, blah, blah, blah. But he is at least helping her out a little bit here. And also he's a handsome guy. Very dashing looking guy here. And then Suletta's obviously very emotional because she's just feeling really lonely. Especially without Ariel by her side, who's usually in her notebook. She doesn't have the Ariel or her notebook with her. But she's just trying to stay strong even when she's feeling depressed. And then you can see that Lady Prospera is in front of the council, and they're trying to interrogate her. Hey, is the Ariel a Gundam? Are you dealing with Gundam technology? And she's saying, no, it's like drone technology of my company. Because the some important things they point out, she points out specifically, is that even if the Ariel does have similar technology to the Gundam technology, with using like some sort of like statistic, it doesn't cause something called a data storm. Data storms are what pretty much harms the pilots of Gundams. While in this case, there's no such thing. But I think it's not clear why the Ariel doesn't have the data storm. However, it could just be because Suletta was raised with the Ariel, so the Ariel, in a way, is very much trying to avoid hurting its pilot. Because they're, in a way, siblings, right? And the Ariel is also sentient, which most of the council doesn't know. So, so from that, you could probably infer that why the data storms don't affect Suletta is either because of her unique constitution regarding being able to adapt to Gundam technology, or because the Ariel is very specifically trying to avoid harming her. It can go either way. You can see that the leader of the dueling council here is also helping his father, who looks like he's aging, so he's helping him out. Then you can see that Lady Prospera is showing off her prosthetic arm, and she's saying that it's because of damage done to Mercury. Hard to say whether she's actually damaged in the head, but at least with her arm, the arm prosthetic was already from the Prologue, so it was already a thing back then. Then Delling says, "Hey, the Arrow's a Gundam because I say so." Blah blah blah. So he's the one making the rules. Then Miorine here tries to barge in. She's told that she doesn't have any power by her father because her father's a jerk, but she's also wants to say that her father should play by the rules he made, which is whoever where decisions are decided by duels. And then you can see the people who are helping Miorine earlier are, you know, like this lady wants a favor from Miorine, and it doesn't really mind because it's could be a powerful bargaining tool later on. And then you can see Miorine is trying to argue with her father, where her father pretty much doesn't listen to her at all, doesn't acknowledge her, considers her an inferior being, and he is quote unquote the king. And she's trying to be pulled out of the situation, and Miorine also is challenging her father to a duel in order to make him abide by his rules, which makes sense. I'm gonna obviously use Suletta to do so. Then this guy, Jaturk's father, wants to be able to see more of the Gundam's capabilities, probably influenced by Lady Prospera, aka Suletta's mom. And see, maybe they're saying they shouldn't make such a rash decision here. And then obviously Suletta's mother also supports that because she originally came to the college in order to get revenge for her father, for her husband's death and the Vanidus Institute from the Prologue, but also it's a good opportunity to test the Aerial's capabilities. So you get quite a bit of things there. And then Miorine comes in to Suletta's confinement and says that you're going to duel again so that Aerial doesn't get scrapped. So pretty much it puts Suletta in a very dire situation. She has to, you know, win or to be able to keep going. Otherwise, she's in trouble, and she'll be also expelled as well. Then you have the ending. I'm not really sure if there's much analysis in this area, but it does show the connection between the two girls about how they're working together. Interesting, they're also using a lot of crystals, sort of to show like them being separated, but also together at the same time. Very interesting. And then there's the after credit scene where you have, I believe, this robot. I don't really know which one it is. It's like bright red. Looks a bit like Char's robot in my opinion. But it has a unique feature of having like very cool like blades, I believe. See these green things? It like spins around. Oh yeah, and they're not connected. So it is like, it actually could be some Gundam technology a little bit because it has the blades that could separate from the body. It's not like the wielder is telling it to do so. So I don't know if this is the new technology. I don't know whose Gundam it is. I initially thought it would be from the company that the Jaturk is from, because it looks kind of similar in the head, but it could be the organization from what's it called? The one where that guy with the blonde hair is interested in Suletta. Could also be that one because they're also interested in the Gundam technology. I think that's everything. And then they also say the next episode features Guel. So most likely Guel is going to be dueling again against Suletta. Now knowing that the Aerial is a Gundam and thus it'll be a better fight. And obviously the Aerial is going to be, I'm pretty sure, let's see. I'm pretty sure Suletta will be aware of like all the new information. We'll tell the Aerial, and the Aerial will be far more vicious this time around in order to absolutely secure the win. So we'll see how that goes, and also whether Suletta can use the Gundam technology or not in the fight. I don't know if she'll be handicapped. So yeah, I think that's everything. Hopefully you guys found that kind of interesting, and yeah, thank you for watching.